What's up guys, this is Shannon. Today we're gonna check out Hougang in Singapore. I think that's how you pronounce Hougang lah. Let's go check it out. What's up guys? The main reason I'm here today is to check out a brand new HDB by one of the audience. And I realized there's no actual review of HDBs because these are government housing. Most Singaporeans live in one, so when you review something that everybody sees every day, right, no point. But from a Malaysian perspective, interesting. And what you can see right now, these are the brand new units that has yet to be handed over, because you can see a lot of works that's being done. Landscape are not completed yet. You have the silt trap, and I'm now trying to find the block name, because here it's not like what we have in Malaysia, where our addresses is the name of the project, then the number of blocks. So the project gotta own the whole piece of land. HDBs then are a little bit different. They are labeled by numbers. So you can see here, this is labeled 176A. Then there's 176B and C right opposite. That's 178. I'm trying to look for the unit of our audience today. So this is Kovan Station. I walked from Kovan Station all the way to the site here just now for the past half an hour, and I'm having a culture shock on the level of security measures adapted by HDBs. Like we have seen so many Malaysian ones, right? Like we actually celebrate the tiers of security we have in Malaysia. Like if you come into the guardhouse 1, parking 1, go to a lift lobby 1, to the lift titit until the unit. So you got 4 to 5 security checkpoints, and we love it. But that kind of developed a lot of architectural measures that divides the infrastructure's connection and accessibility to the project. Anyway, right in front here we have Hougang Avenue 3, and right next to the road you just look into the amount of greeneries allowed, right? So this forms a very nice safety buffer between the car and the pedestrian, and then within the pedestrian walkway that's also divided into bicycle and pedestrian. You have the inclusivity elements going up. This will be the project that we're going to check out today. If you can hear that, right, that must be the Air Force, and they must be testing their jets or something. Whoa, it's so loud. There you can see they're testing the jets. Wow! So from the facade you can see heavy louvers. I'm not too sure what are the materials. Most likely going to be panels. But anyway, this will be Hougang Citrine. This looks like the main drop off. And for the roads, you will have pavers, a nice raised level away from the main roads. Anyway, coming into the grand entrance, you will have the loading bays all placed at the side. And this will be a waiting lounge already. Well, it's open air lah, so it's just benches, but it's all built in, locked in. This side will go to the 178, this side will go to the 179. And you will have shaded walkways. And they are just using simple I-beams. Nothing too fancy but functional. Then you have landscape treatments at the side. This will be somewhat a small community center. A lot of steel structures. I think because it's faster too. And you can see they actually cover the steel with some plaster here. You see the patterns and all. Nice lah, I appreciate the effort lah, right? Just in case the community is going to use this space, they're just providing fans. Then to minimize water splashing and to add a bit more shade, they added an apron of shadings here, right? So, and it's textured, so that's nice. Then when you come in here, this will be another chilling area, and the chilling area actually comes with a chest set, and that will be the letterbox area. And looking at the ground floor, it's really just bare practicality, right? Like there are no decorations whatsoever to even like change the structural system to have a better visibility among spaces. They don't have a lot of plaster ceiling just to conceal all the pipings throughout. Wayfindings are also just using paint Very simple, don't have like fancy plastic place-making elements and things like that. Anyway, this will be the lift lobby. There will be 2 lifts servicing the whole block, and you will have not plaster ceiling, you will have metal ceiling, perforated steel ceilings. And this way then you will have a ramp that connects the block directly into Hougang Avenue's bus stop. So that's great, and I want to go and check out the elevated car park first. And this is facilities plan. In total, you will have from 17ABC, then 179ABC, and all will be sharing a common car park area. Then in the center between blocks, you will have all the facilities such as the children's playground, you will have the hard court, fitness area, a lot of community living room just to play chess, something like that. Then in terms of drop off, you will have one drop off here that we just ran just now. You will have one in the center for the other blocks at 178. This is also to maximize an appropriate distance between blocks, also between blocks and the road. So you can see a very nice buffer away from the street, yet without having a lot of fencing. I really enjoy the seamless connectivity. And anyway, we are in the common facility area. Let's go check it out. So this is how the lift looks like. I think now it's still under construction, but you will have CCTVs, you will have a lot of advertisements. This one is temporary only. I think this is covered in perspex. Then we will have a transparent ceiling here. And coming out, we have landscape areas, and they even come with the exercise machine for you to work your knees when you are chilling. Nice. But this is way beyond my expectation. Here you have stone floorings connected to the reflexology area. You will have very nice handrails to be in support. Then if you need a break, then there will be benches around. For security and privacy reasons, you will have the landscape hedges. This also serves like to not let people see you all the time. And landscape islands on both sides. So you will have the pandans, you will have some herbs. You can look at the slate finishes on the landscape islands to kind of blend in with the same flavor. This will be the outdoor fitness area. And what material is this? Yeah, I think this is also rubber, just that they are coloured. And this concept is somewhat similar to what we adopt in Malaysia as well, where the space above the elevated car park is always the easiest space to work around, to have the facilities deck. And then this will be the community garden. You can put in some herbs here, so I think these are dried up lavenders. And they play around with the different types of landscape treatments to have a different texture. Okay, just to add a little bit more texture again. Just put in different things, like for children or for elderly, right? You will just have a different texture throughout your walk. And this will be the back part behind the block, and most likely this is going to be another development like this lah. But opposite then you will have all the industrial areas really, which is kind of good, especially if you work there and you get a unit here lah. And for those who don't know about the format of ownership of HDB in Singapore, it's a whole masterclass altogether. Basically, it's divided into resale HDBs and BTOs. BTOs is built to own, meaning new ones, which is this one lah. So in order to qualify, it depends then, are you a citizen, are you a PR, or are you a non-citizen? Then are you buying as a couple? Are you buying as a single person? But for singles, right, after 35 only you are entitled to get one. Then after you get them, you will have to fulfill this main criteria of MOP, which is minimum occupancy period. Within that period, there are things that you can do, cannot do, like you cannot rent out the whole unit, you must occupy yourself. And if you do not maintain, they can anytime take away the unit from you. And the thing is this, everyone wants a HDB unit. So the fact that you are entitled for one or you qualified for one, right, you are considered very, very lucky already. And if you get one within a location that you really desire, bonus. But as the price are going up very rapidly for the housings here, so now it's pretty common that we see HDBs about $1 million, and that actually blurs the consideration between getting an EC, which is executive condo, or you go for private ones compared to the HDB. The bonus is you won't be under any restrictions and you can continue buying more lah. Anyway, for this one, the audience actually got the unit for 325,000. Meanwhile, if you check into Property Guru's website, the unit surrounding this unit is about $500,000. Congratulations, leh. I am so envious. Anyway, back to the garden. The main circulation pathway is painted in maroon epoxy, just to give you that track kind of feel. And this entire experience is so comfortable. Well, you don't come at 12 o'clock like now lah. It's going to be so hot, right? But I think the evening is going to be so nice, and it's car free. So kids actually have a few choice to hang out. They can actually hang out here, or they can hang out in the common play area between blocks. So I do see the intent of such design elements where kids of the same area will get to know each other, and that's how communities are built. Most likely they will also go to the same school which is nearby, taking the same train, going to eat the same food around the area, shopping in the same malls in proximity. Slowly that forms community, which is also a good thing, but that's also the main reason why people are extremely picky of the community to blend in lah. And that's how certain projects nearby famous schools, right, the prices are just woo! And their level of equipment, although it's like public lah, but it's borderline the same, if not better than what we have for our private ones. So you will have one just now that is meant for elderlies, then you have some for toddlers and kids. This will be for the younger adults. There will be monkey bars for you to train your calisthenics. Yeah, I don't even know what are these lah. So that's the level of fitness knowledge I have. Then this will be a bicycle that you can actually connect with your app leh. Wow! So right below the roof garden, we have the elevated car parks, and I'm not sure how they are allocated. And they are actually using a scissors ramp format, where you come out one side, go up, then you can go down. So this is a very efficient use of space, also having a lot of ventilation to go through the structure. Cement screeded, you will have the span that is very wide. That's why they use the transfer beam instead of the flat slab system we always see. And in total there will be 5 levels. So since it's a scissors format, right, you will have 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A lah. And the arrangement of columns are also closer. So in Malaysia we always have like 3 cars in between columns. This one you will have 2, but this is a more economical way to build this, because they want to maximize the span of this instead of this side. I must say the usage of color is very refreshing. I don't even know what is this called, like neon orange and mint. Is it mint? So just now we were at the higher ceiling side. This will be the lower ceiling side, and the ceiling height is only about 2.23 from the lowest point. And looking at it, right, the concrete floorings are also patchy right. So it's the same with Malaysia lah, also patchy right. But because this is located next to the avenue, right, the Hougang Avenue, yes, inconvenience. Maybe you can go take one, don't go where lah, go and take one later. But the traffic noise is actually pretty evident. Whenever you have a unit that's directly facing an elevated car park, the direct visibility might compromise privacy a little bit lah. But looking at this here, the louvers do actually add a lot of texture to the overall facade. And at level 6 just now, the roof garden, there will be a direct link bridge over to the building. But looking at the connectivity area here to the block seems rather weird lah. This looks like a unit layout that was sacrificed to be the access between the roof and the main building. They sacrificed one unit just for access. Wow. This will be the shared space just now, the common areas, right? Coming down from the roof is actually connected to this level, level 6 of the building. And within one floor, there will only be 8 units. I think on the upper floor it will be 9 units, this will be 1 unit. That's why the structural elements within the void area is kind of weird. And it's serviced by 2 lifts. So the units are laid in a double loaded corridor, but it's like a semi-lift for each lah. This one is a bungalow. Wow, so nice. So you see the amount of voids between the units. That's going to be so nice. So from the lift lobby going through the corridor, the width is 1.5, the height is 2.45 meters. And this will be the rubbish chute area that is open. So it's held 5 feet, right? And this will be how you dispose waste. So you step on it and you throw. And it's open air, so you won't have smell at all, provided they throw nicely lah. There are no utilities that passes by the center corridor, and so it's open straight away. This is soffit level of the slab, but because of the lower ceiling height, in certain areas that is away from the voids can get kind of dark. Anyway, this will be the unit I'm going to check out today, which is at the end, which is nice as well. So it's almost the furthest away from the lift lobby, but just something confusing about the common areas. Like here, these are perfectly fine until the neighbors complain. With the same logic, everything here is also shared, right? Anyway, from the unit going in, this will be a ramp into the entrance, and this is a door with an extra lift here, so that's very nice. This is extremely useful, especially when you move things into the unit. You need that extra feet, right? And the clearance of the door is 1.25 by 2.1 meters. Okay, coming in there will be a foyer. So here this will be your DB box location, and this is something Malaysia don't have. This is their bomb shelter. The size is about 1.3 by 2.2 meters, and it's covered. Like even the door is a steel door, meant for safety reasons, so you cannot really renovate anything within this structure itself. And it's located right in front of the house lah. So well, it's a guideline, you cannot do anything. Coming in there, this will be the living room. The width is about 3 meters, height is 2.6. In 2.6 in Malaysia it's considered pretty low, but here it looks fine. And they are providing 600 by 600 mm tiles with timber skirtings. Here you can see pretty obvious structural kinks around the edges. So this one, if you are particular about it, you need to do some ID to cover them. Anyway, this will be the window panel. Very nice, very bright. And this is level 2. So you will have direct access to the park that is going to be completed soon. And on the way here, looking at other older HDBs, right, I realized these window panels are actually bigger than the conventional ones. I'm not too sure, is it a cost thing? Instead of providing 3 panels like this, why not a big one? Then this will be the plug points that they are going to be providing. It comes with a USB. On this side, wow, a lot like 2, 4, 6, 8 plug points all together within the living room. And from the living room going into the dining is separated by this humongous beam here. But just now when I just knock around, like these are dry walls, which means these can be torn down if required. So this is actually 1 bedroom. If you need it, then it will be nice. If you don't need it, I think you can remove this entirely. So this space here, wow. Like for me that's vertically challenged, right, I can almost reach with it. So this is 2.25 meters. Pretty intimidating, right? Anyway, this will be the dining space connecting to the private area. So this will be all the bedrooms and the common bath. This will be a nice area for storage or cabinets. This will be the massive kitchen. Wow, just look into this. So this is about 2.3 by 3.4 meters. In terms of space, I think it's huge, just that the structural elements is not very friendly. Which means like this would be so nice if this is not around. Right? Why do you need such a massive column, right? Anyway, then what I like is the full height wall tiles all the way to the top. And this is something that Malaysians also adapt. This is the water point that is indicated using that blue line. Okay, so when you drill, stay away from it. In terms of a kitchen size, this can be your top. Right, your top, this will be the location of your fridge. You can put a very nice sliding door there to partition out. If not, the whole house will smell like you're cooking. Then this will be another work area, like your blender, whatsoever, food preparation area. And again, looking at it, right, I think this is also hackable. You know, this is just a mere partition wall, not really structural. So this will be the main beam and column that's connected, right? This is hackable. Wow! Everything is so loose. Anyway, going out, this is nice. So this is the, by default, aluminium and glazing treatment to the yard space. Not only that, it's actually covered throughout the whole thing. The allocation of the back of house in compared to the total area of the unit, I think the ratio is more balanced compared to what we have back in Malaysia. So this one is really meant for home, for you to do your housework and cooking one. And the size of this yard space here is 1.35 by 2.52 meters. And you have a folding door, so you won't waste space on the swing. Not only that, these will be from discharge upstairs. So all these are left exposed for ease of maintenance. Then this is a hanger that comes with the unit. So you can just use this and adjust manually for it to come down. If that's insufficient, you will have extra places to hang your clothes here. If still not enough, you got the whole corridor to do it lah. Anyway, this then will be the area for the aircon compressors. Then for the outdoor plug points, they actually cover it, so it's nice. Then there will be a water point here as well, so it means this will be the location of your washing machine, also your dryer. Then throughout the unit, the light points are all provided, fan points as well. Okay, so this will be bedroom 1, 2 and the master bedroom, and this will be the shared bathroom. So check this out. First, you will have a timber frame. The clearance here is 935mm and this is a 2.1 meters height door, so it's very nice going into the unit. The room size is 2.65 by 3.65. I think it's pretty comfortable to squeeze in the queen size bed plus a wardrobe. That's about it lah. You want study tables are more a bit hard, but as mentioned just now, so this is the partition and this is the structural element. Partition, structural element. Yeah, so it means this one can be hacked. Then for flooring, these are laminated timber floorings, timber skirtings. So in terms of plug points, 1, 2, 3, 4 with a TV point here. Okay, and this is actually a structural member. This is a beam. Moving on, this will be bedroom 2, slightly bigger in size. Window treatments then become smaller pula. Tak tahu kenapa. Then anyway, this will be the structural elements again. There's a lot of such things that we don't really see in KL anymore, but here is pretty common due to the construction method lah. I think here they use a lot of prefab and precast technologies. This also looking outwards into the playground area. Very nice. Open up. So is there a level of tint? A slight level of tint, and maybe just test the sound and noise isolation. Ooh, not bad. But I just don't know what is this extra thing for here. You see here, there's a U channel here. What is this for? Moving on then, this will be the shared bathroom, full tiles up. Wow, what is this? Why is it like that? Anyway, you will have WC and basin here. All the water lines, hot water lines are all indicated nicely. So this is clearly something we should adopt in Malaysia. Kasihan je developer. Okay, then there will be a window for ventilation that is frosted for privacy. So this here is to conceal the pipings. I see. So okay, so because the floor trap is here, so the floor trap from the upstairs actually comes and connects over here. If there's inter-floor leakage, this is very obvious and you can immediately just take this off and service it. Not bad but you can look from afar, right? There's a L box in the toilet recently. What's cool is this folding door. Look at this, right? If this is not a folding door, the swing will just take up all spaces already. But if this is a folding door, and it's a plastic door, right? It comes with a locking mechanism on the top, so that's very nice. And suddenly, this one is so welcoming. Even for folks in wheelchair or mobility issue, right? However, this can be a ramp of your HDB. If this is a ramp in, right? Just like the entrance out there. Wow, wonderful. Wonderful. And last of all, this will be the master bedroom. So the wall-to-wall width here is 2.8 meters, the ceiling height is 2.6. Well, at least the ceiling here is clean. means you won't have column, and apparently this is something to take note for. This one, again, pretty obvious. Also similar approach to the facade wall where it's almost all window, right? Just that they left strips in between the panels. Anyway, the plug points are all located at the edge here. Only left one on the center. Laminated timber floor, timber skirtings, and the entrance coming in, you need to go through the beam here. And with a beam like this, usually the awkward position is this one. Look at this hole here. Right? Anyway, I like the bathroom treatment. Okay, so you see full height wall tiles all the way to be the shower system, and these are hot water pipings. There's no hot water system, but the owner tells me that they are allowed to actually put in a hot water system, an instant one, where they can actually go through the gas out there. So you can use that gas to power hot water for the whole house. That's actually more efficient, because here utility bills is a thing. We Malaysians are so lucky and spoiled. Then you have the basin by Johnson Swiss. This is WC by Johnson Swiss, and this window here, very peculiar because it opens the whole frame outwards. That's because of maintaining and servicing this aircon latch here. So this is actually a very safe way for workers to actually climb out and service. These are all frosted and covered for privacy reasons. Similar treatments on the floor trap piping from the upper floor, but what people do here is they will conceal the whole thing. But again, I totally like this. I really like the door treatment. So again, this is a double fold door. Wow! So the entrance of the door need not to be so narrow, number one. Then you can fold this, it's easier for storage. Just that a bit sayang, this could not just lock in, right? How nice if this was designed like 100 mm away, then this one just nicely fold on it. Ooh, then it will be so good. Anyway, I guess that's all for the unit. Let's go cari makan. 早吃. So there will be a wet market at Hougang Avenue 1. It's about 10 minutes walk. I heard Singaporeans like to walk one. So as we are walking along Hougang Avenue 3, right? These are the older HDBs, and you can see in comparison to the one that we just visited, right, the windows here are way smaller compared to the ones that they are providing. Yeah, and there will be a lot of park connectors here, which I actually am very impressed with, but this can only be done on a higher level, not from a developer point of view. So this is good. And halfway there will be McDonald's. But on a serious note, the walking experience is actually very comfortable. You look into the shades and the trees around. But raining, too bad cannot but on a normal day it's going to be very, very nice. So in about 7 minutes walk away, we are already in Hougang Avenue 1's market. Very comfortable walk. I guess that's all for the project. It's now time for Sean's take 3 on 3. Well, we don't have a lot of examples of BTOs and HDBs, so let's just make comparison to what we know from a Malaysian building perspective for now. So the first thing that I'm amazed of will be the level of safety and security that enable such convenience and accessibility to the units. So when we look into the integration of infrastructure, like for the bus station from the roads going into the building, then we don't really notice a lot of fencing around. Then to get into the lift, to get into the corridors, whatever, right? There's no access card required. This is a major culture shock from a Malaysian point of view. Then from a facilities point of view, although this is going to be the level of our RumaWIP or our Rumah Selangor or even Prima, where they don't have swimming pool. Anything else is all almost the same. You don't have a gym as well, but they make good with whatever space they have. So the spaces between two towers is decorated as garden space, and it also becomes a centerpiece for all the units around. Then for the roof of the elevated car park, then they also use it as a garden space, and the equipment is for all ages. So you will have the toddlers one, you will have the old folks one, you will have the younger energetic ones. And the common theme for all the facilities, right, is like the herbs garden, elderly sitting areas, reflexology. The key point is ease of maintenance. You don't need active energy to activate the space. You don't need like air conditioning. You don't need a lot of water, a lot of resources to maintain the particular facilities. But yet at the same time, it can look very, very good. So far in Malaysia, the affordable homes that we visited, anything without a swimming pool, right, suddenly we don't know what to do. And that results in a massive area that is concrete, because we also don't want to maintain grass. But also here, just to highlight, the difference will be on the required amount of car parking. So this one from first floor is already the apartment unit, but for Malaysia then we will have extensive elevated car park in the bottom. Then only we have the podium. That's why the area of the podium sometimes might be too big, too much. Well, but you can design it from an architectural standpoint, right? Then from a unit layout point of view, this is very refreshing because of the very different structural system that they are adapting. They have a lot of precast, they will have a lot of brick walls. They're only meant for partition, they do not hold any weight, right? That allows a lot of flexibility among the layout, so you can actually just whack off the rooms in accordance to your need. And because the profile of audience is also changing, now not all couples want to have children, so it's entirely up to you. You can do whatever you want to the unit. And the scale of the back of house, such as the kitchen, the yard space, the bathrooms, right, are way bigger than my house, the house that I'm living right now. But then for a Singaporean's perspective, it's still relatively small. They actually consider the kitchen size small, but to us it's like, wow. Also, I think the innovation part within the bathroom is something that we should also adopt, like the choice of door, right? The sliding foldable toilet door or the sliding door for the window, right? Those are so easy to do, so you save space on the swing, but yet the entrance to the bathroom is awesome. Then also comparing this project to the earlier ones that we see surrounding, but all those are older ones. Size of the windows are way bigger, and the colors are a little bit more vibrant, right? A little bit more modern. And although this is like a government housing, right, the sense of architecture is still not compromised. The corridor is actually made into zigzaggy to actually add dynamism to the space instead of one linear one like we always have in KL. So with the irregularity, it also gives dynamism to the void space, and between units, right, that void space becomes very exciting. And those are the designs that I really, really enjoy. Now for the three things I don't like will be, number one, the structural elements, because it's been a while we've seen beams in Malaysia's property apartments. So suddenly when we see one, right, it really needs some time to get used to it, because we are so used to a clearance height of 3 meters for our ceiling height. Here we have like 2.5 to 2.6 on a common area including the unit, and for certain areas below the beam is about 2.25, and it's pretty normal for them. As a result of those structural elements, also you will have a lot of kinks around the area. So for designers, they need to work around those areas. But for apartments in Malaysia, everything is straight line. To an extent, sometimes it's too easy to design, right? We add complication on our own so that the design process feels a little bit more interesting. Not only within the unit itself, if you go into the common areas, especially the ground floor, right, there is no decoration or there's no covering up whatsoever for all the structural members. If it looks like that, they will just retain the same structure all the way down. To an extent, sometimes when you go around certain spaces, right, it's like kinks and kinks and kinks and kinks. On a normal basis in Malaysia, we would think that the lack of visibility will create risk for security, but since security is not an issue, so I don't think this concern is even valid. Then the second thing, when I was at the project, there was a facility that was testing the jets, so the sound from a person who never seen a jet before is pretty cool. But for locals, they told me that they are going to move the entire facility away, but I don't know when. But for now, the units that is facing directly on the Hougang Avenue 3, right, the road sound can get kind of loud, and if you include the jet sound into it as well, wow, no joke. And for this particular project, there's no direct connectivity or walking distance to a nearby MRT. but you will have a bus stop right downstairs, and that connects you to a school. And we just checked out a shopping mall called The Next, which is pretty cool. All local students there, all local business people there. Shout out to the audience for actually bringing me to go and check out, right? Go and drink some local delights and things like that. But when car is not necessarily a common thing for the locals here, the connectivity to all these facilities then becomes the main factor for price difference. This one actually too bad you are not connected to any MRT, but in the future, 5 years later, they might be one. Hearsay lah. Anyway, that's all for this episode. Shout out to the audience for actually giving me a tour of her new BTO. This is so exciting. This is so eye-opening. I learned so many things, right? To really see a different perspective of how different governments do things. I am very impressed. But certain things Malaysians still have an edge lah. Only if our affordable housing looks like this, right? Whoa. That will change the whole entire game altogether. And I think that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you really like this episode, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. We will see whether we can come back again to document like ECs or other new BTOs or things like that. For those who are willing to share, please do contact me. I will take a flight just to check out your property. No issue at all. See you guys on the next one. Ciao.